Which Tesla family is the best is back with another video. In this one, I want to analyze the events surrounding Tesla, the Q, spy footage, and a few other tickers. In addition, I'll analyze several key points made by Cathie Wood, who believes that Tesla should trade for $2,000, and by Jerome Powell. Before I go into any more specifics, let me clarify that I am not a financial planner, and you should not take any advice I may give regarding finances. Additionally, if you could kindly click the Webull link that is in the description and below, you will receive 20 free stocks when you sign up for Webull. Using the link below and deposit $500 into the account. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you will receive 75 complimentary stocks. This offer expires in a few short weeks. Okay, so what is going on with Tesla? Here's where Tesla's wonderful structure is developing. After experiencing a slight decline, Tesla made a higher low and is currently attempting to push higher. However, we've been circling a little bit as we're getting kind of stopped at this resistance, which is very near to 67.8 or 168 to be exact. SPY is also hedging a little, but I see some bullish potential, which may materialize in the future based on how our closure goes. In a few minutes, I want to go into further depth about this. Let me quickly discuss Jerome Powell first, followed by Cathie Wood. Thus, today at noon, Jerome Powell delivered a speech. In essence, the man made some really significant remarks. He said that the latest data did not significantly alter the overall picture, which is still one of steady expansion, a robust but stabilizing labor market, and inflation gradually declining to 2% over the course of occasionally choppy periods. That is why it is so crucial. This time, Jerome Powell was less than dovish. He acknowledges that the Fed will likely reduce this year if not sooner, but he cautions that there may occasionally be rough patches in the road and that we should proceed with extreme caution. Additionally, he stated that the Fed is seeking additional data in order to obtain confirmation before reducing interest rates. This is because, as evidenced by the latest manufacturing data and the rising price of petrol in tandem with crude oil, there are signs that inflation is not at an end and may even rise in the future. Thus, you should handle all of this data with extreme caution. Having said that, the Fed is essentially waiting for additional proof that inflation is decreasing before lowering interest rates. Okay, so it appears that they might not lower rates as soon as June. They could need some time to obtain the information, so they might wait to lower rates until later in the year. In my view, they might begin by September, October, or November, or thereabouts, and that's something really very significant. Apart from that, Powell was, as usual, a little vague in the center. He stated that while the Fed does not want to lower rates too quickly, it also does not want to wait too long and do needless harm. As a result, it will be extremely cautious and look at more data. The market kind of took a tiny dip when he used the term bumpy path, which is not the nicest word to use. However, the market recovered, so in my opinion, it's still holding up very well. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the subsequent moves until we hit our close and all that, but for Tesla, we have some very, very excellent news, at least in Cathie Wood's opinion. The market is still sort of chopping at these high levels after what Powell stated, who tends to be in the middle. According to Cathie Wood, she sees Tesla going very, very hard in the future and is sticking to her bullish stance. She stated in an interview that she has a $2,000 price target for the company and that it is not the time to flee because the stock is declining. Why then is Cathie such a Tesla believer? She claims that has a significant impact on how their AI will grow in the future. The optimal position is one aspect, but the robo-taxi and FSD are the main ones she's mentioning. She is also quite optimistic about Tesla's long-term prospects. She is attempting to reassure investors by suggesting that whether Tesla's share price drops to 160, 150, or 120, it won't matter since the company's future is still incredibly bright. She sees AI as a huge game changer since it can be used to start a robot taxi and aid people all over the world. She believes that the robo-taxi will be Tesla's biggest success because of their ability to develop technology that will allow these cars to drive themselves even with the help of FSD and neural networks. By doing this, she believes that people will be greatly assisted, that this will be a major global service, and that this will be very significant for the future. She added that any more developments with Tesla's delivery are merely transitory in nature. She's arguing that deliveries are declining and that current macroeconomic conditions are impeding this, so of course it won't last forever, but she's still a big long-term bull, and I actually agree with her on a number of grounds. She also said that Tesla's value is further valued as a result of the Optimus robot, which makes her an extremely bullish person. She is eager for the future and isn't letting anything stand in the way of her plans. She sort of hinted that the more it drops, the more she wants to purchase. With that in mind, let's quickly analyze the charts and see what's going on. For Tesla, the chart is trying to turn right. We made a higher low in comparison to this low, so things are looking quite nice. We have this resistance at 160. If we break through this, look for a push for about 170. If we get a clean break, if we break that, then we have this imbalance to fill, and that could take us all the way up to about like 173.50, all the way up to where this imbalance is. There's also a gap technically. Up there for support, we're going to be watching 165 as critical support. There's 16,718 and 165. If you lose 165, a bigger drop is coming. But overall, I would say that this chart has a very nice trend. We're making a higher low, and we have potential to push even higher from here. So I think that Tesla does have potential, but we have to wait and see how we close. If we could close above 168, it's going to look pretty good if we fail to do so. We might not get there. It may take a little bit longer, but overall, we're just kind of shopping in this range, so we'll have to see how Tesla does. Does Tesla up a little bit and then come back up? We'll just have to wait and see. But otherwise, we're just range-bound. Same thing on SPY, kind of range-bound. There was bullish momentum kind of developing on this in the morning, and now it's just been very stuck. Watch this range for the past 3 hours. If we push higher, you're going to be watching 521 as resistance. If we break through this, we could push easily towards the 522s. If he starts sinking back down, watch 59.4 is support. If we lose this, a bigger dip is coming. So we'll have to see how it goes, but overall SPY has some bullish potential. If we get a close above 52.5, the chart's also starting to look a little bit more bullish. As we made this high here, made a higher low, and then we're trying to break this high, we have to maintain this structure. If we turn back down close below 520, it's going to be weak, not the best of signs. So I want to see a close-up of at least 520, if not 52.52.52.52. And see if this could hold. It's showing some life so far. Same thing on the QQQ. We had this low at 438. We came back up. We ended up testing 438.68, close above 442 at the very least, if not this 200 EMA at 442.19. If we close above that, we're going to be in a decent place. There's potential for us to get up to the notorious 446, but we want to see this thing hold very nicely and start pushing. I'm seeing some potential in this. Nonetheless, for Aapl not looking the best, we did manage to push up above this resistance, hitting just under 176.8, but the issue is we're coming back down towards 170. We're not doing the best of job at holding, so we have to see if Aapl can hold our 5 EMA. So watch 17.06 to 170 as our support. If we do bounce off this, this could help the market, but if we lose this, not the best of news, so I'm going to be very patient with that. And finally, for Nvda, Nvidia is kind of just like shuffling right now around 900. If we do close above 900, it's going to be a decent sign. For 9,008 for tomorrow, if we close below it, not the best of sense, might just continue to shuffle. Let me also add that we also have Riven with the head and shoulders looking kind of weak like Tesla. We're going to be looking for 10.5 of support. Let me just go over a couple more for Coinbase trying to push a bit, but watch this 252 area, which is where we're chopping. Even if we do push upward a little bit, we could always come back down because of this structure. So you want to be very, very careful. I'm going to be patient with the market for now. We'll see how things go going into tomorrow. We're stuck at 505 and kind of moving around here. If weak past 507, look for a push for 510. If you end up losing 68, if we do so, it's going to be a decent sign. If not, it is what it is. Thank you all so much for listening. We could try to hold up better, but even if we do pop a bit, we could come back down. So just be careful. I wouldn't fully trust this for Amzn. We did get very close to 183, but now we're at some tight resistance. If we get a big rejection, lose 182.5, we could be sinking back down to 181.000. That's going to be very strong for Amzn, so we'll just have to be patient. There's going to be some life.